कृषी विपणन आणि रोगासंबंधित माहितीपूर्ण व्हिडिओ बघण्यासाठी कॉटन गुरु यूट्यूब चॅनल सबस्क्राईब करा आणि नवीन व्हिडिओ बघण्यासाठी बेल आयकॉनवर क्लिक करा.
Thank you very much for this wonderful inputs, Goel Saab. And this is a very good suggestion, I think, for the corporates to really ponder about. And I would rather say this is a very big opportunity. Like India is well positioned in the cotton space, and organic cotton, fortunately for us, India has done well by being the number one. And now, because this environmental consciousness has built in post-pandemic also, as I mentioned, about health, hygiene, and wellness sector, the demand has grown. You can see the results like the premium growing from 2,000 to 36,000 just because the demand is there. And you see everything on the health, hygiene front demanding a premium. So I think both on the corporate side, we need to look into ways how we can reward the farmer so that he continues with this crop, how we can improve his livelihood, how we can further strengthen the supply chain. Because I think this entire decade, say, as what we are learning under the management books, that earlier there was tactical management, then came in strategic management. Now there is a celestial management. In celestial management, the supply chain has to be created by taking all the stakeholders together. So we have to work together with the farmer to see how we can ensure this supply chain. Otherwise, you see, if somebody asks the corporate a question that can you visualize what you will get as in the supply chain of cotton, organic cotton next year, or maybe in 2024, and at what price you will get it? Nobody knows that answer. So I think there has to be a structured approach. There has to be a collective approach. The fundamentals are there for us to work upon. As Goel sir rightly said, that we should have these systems and processes to strengthen both digitally with transparency so that the farmers get his due return and at the same time the industry grows. And since India is well positioned and in the global textile trade, India has got a minuscule, share of only 4%. I think with there is a enough opportunity for all to, get help through this supply chain of cotton and organic cotton. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity and wonderful suggestion by Goel Saab, and we should all introspect and have this entire system much more strengthened so that we can ensure the brands and retailers with a consistent supply and we can overcome these disruptions of the future.
Right, Kailashi. So, do we again accept that invitation that next year we will come up with a case study of a sustainable uh, project in cotton?
Yes, yes, of course. We are working upon it as an organization. We have taken baby steps with help of people like you who are guiding us, and we are taking baby steps and we intend to grow in this area backwardly. And if we get regulatory supports from the government and support from people like Control Union, boards, BCI organization, so definitely we will scale up our presence in this area to see that how we can present Indian organic cotton as a branded cotton in the overseas market. And since we have this opportunity and exposure and visibility to major marquee retailers, we can reach out to them and see that how we can further help our Indian farmers get better deal in the future.
Right, right. Thank you, Kailashi. A lot of questions, but time is running out. I'll just take two, three, I think, most relevant to today's discussion. One is for Dr. Binay Kumar, Control Union. What technological tools would you suggest should be implemented to simplify data collection to measure sustainable cotton practices? Because the questioner has also said that it is time we adopted some technology because it has been 20 years, same practices are being followed.
Yeah, if you look to the data management at the farming level system, and most of the textile industries after spinning, either they have ERP system or some kind of system which they manage the data more systematically. However, the organized sector, unorganized sector, before the spinning, that is called ginning and farming, we need a lot of data management, which lot of software is now available. Even a lot of free software is available. You can take the help of those free softwares.
Okay, that is good. And we would be in touch with the team how we can implement that at the farm level. So we have a mobile app right now, which we are learning, teaching the farmers to download and upload their data and their farm photos on that mobile app. But what better can be done? Because what we planned is if it is a 500 acre, then this data management may be possible. But if it is a 10,000 acre organic cultivation, then how do we map that data and how you can complete your audit in 2 or 5 days with that data, right? So your team's help is the most appreciable. Next question is for Ganeshi Gods. The question is that whose role is most important in establishing sustainable production systems to mitigate climate change? It can be personal or official. If you can rank, is it the government, scientists, industries, farmers, or consumers? How would you rate them?
Well, as far as the fashion goes, the end consumer is going to enjoy the fashionable garments. That is true, but the supply chain involved in this production of these garments is very big. We all know and how complicated it is. So I think it's not, we cannot rank them as 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it is right from the raw material sourcing level up to the consumer. Each and everyone need to have that awareness and the caring nature for the mother earth, and only then I think if all these stakeholders, including the manufacturers, the producers, the retailers, and including the consumers, if they come on one platform and think of the environment on a very strong note, only then the climate change pledge will be possible. So I think the responsibility goes equally amongst all of the players over here.
Okay, Ganesh, very diplomatically answered, but I think you are right in your way. It cannot be an onus on one. But again, there's an invitation that we cannot put everything on the farmers. For them, it is very difficult. The burden is too much that you have to do this and you have to do that. The accountability also has to become on, has to be put on the implementer here. So another question: if Pradeep ji is available, Cotton Corporation of India. There was one question for Mehdi Ali ji from Egypt. What is that one thing? Is it seed? Is it technology? Or is it only branding that has brought success for Giza? Is it any particular practices? What is that one thing? So I will invite all of you to highlight one thing. I would repeat your subjects, but I'm starting this countdown now with Dr. Mohammed.
Frankly, the advantage is the weather. The weather is the secret.
Okay.
The weather is the secret for the high quality cotton. You know the difference between the night and the morning of the temperature, which is very controlled the fiber lengths. And in this regard, for North Delta, we have only extra long stable. If we move to down for, let's say, middle delta or upper Egypt, the quality of the cotton, it will be less than the north of Egypt, which is the difference between day and night temperature is very, very accurate and very suitable for growing extra long stable. Also, I would like to add another thing for the branding. We have the fingerprint of genetic of the fibers, and consequently we can authenticate the Egyptian cotton from the field, from the seed, from the fiber, from the textile garment. We do this branding, and we have a laboratory to test the authentication of the Egyptian cotton. We can do the same with the Indian cotton if we would like.
Sure, sure. We would love to do that because there is so many growths, so many origins, so many seeds here within one region. We would like to distinctively, brand and label quality-wise. Your help is most appreciated. I will definitely involve you in our journey here. So that was Dr. Mohammed. Now, Binay ji, one thought, one thing that needs to be done immediately, or what is possible?
See, the current need is that we should go ahead with a positive mind to grow better cotton, and which you have already started in your journey. And I think you will show to the human society that how the cotton, which is called white gold by many of our gurus, and you will prove it. So I think the sustainable future cotton that you will be provided by Cotton Guru as a limelight for the farmers to look forward the future sustainability of cotton.
Thank you, Vinay ji. Ganesh ji,
Yeah,
one thing that we need to do immediately.
I think one thing, I mean, like we need to stick to the basic understandings and the basic goals of sustainability program, and stick to our social, environmental, and ethical practices. That's the only way to go ahead with the sustainable practices and have success in this arena. That's it.
Correct. Be true to what we commit. Correct. Right, right. And Dr. Goyal?
Creating localized value chain in the catchment area of each and every ginning factory over a period of time.
Okay. So every ginner can be a project. So true. Right. Kailash ji?
So I think you see wherever this countries have taken to contract farming, the various problems have got resolved, because to just protect, and India is a country of farmers with 70% of the farmers over there. So it should have a policy where we can have a structured approach, and contract farming is the answer of the day, I think, wherein the corporates bring in their expertise to help the farmers really get the yield, as well as get them participated in their growth. As somebody mentioned about the share prices like 2,000 rupees, and if they participate in that, there was a cooperative movement earlier, but this cooperative movement could not succeed. So there has to be a driven approach, in agriculture, and the information also needs to be, scaled up, because a lot of information flows about cotton bale production and opening stock and closing stock and lost cotton into pink bollworm, and all this floats around, and there is speculation. This speculation is not healthy. There has to be a consistent approach towards it, which I think contract farming should be promoted in a very determined way, to see that how we can overcome these challenges and capture this opportunity, because India has this opportunity of cotton grown to this scale, and India has the land which is under cotton cultivation, almost 38% of the world cotton, what you showed. So I think this is a huge opportunity, and we all should work backwards towards it and see that we help the farmers to get ourselves help in the supply chain.
Thank you, Kailashi. Thank you, all of you. So this is the conclusion, that we should not be happy that we have enough or we have too much. It is not a means of loss. It can be a means of income. It can be a means of survival for the whole supply chain. We do have enough, but is it enough to help us build a sustainable future? Currently, it is not. The consumption of Indian mills is equivalent to the production of India as far as conventional cotton is concerned. And organic cotton is again challenged by the vagaries of nature, technology, and incentives in terms of pricing for the farmers. So the journey is not so easy, but Cotton Guru, with the help of so many thought leaders whom we see on screen right now, will definitely do its best with the help of all these stakeholders and the service industry institutions to build a robust supply chain, a model, at least a role model, which we can showcase to the industry, to the government, to the farmers, to overseas buyers. Yes, this is possible in India, and this we can do it here. So cotton, again, the first light bulb. Somebody just shared me a message today that the first light bulb made by Thomas Edison had a cotton filament. Then Kai, you just shared that the currency notes, even Indian currency notes, are made out of cotton linter. So we invite you here in this journey of a cash crop, a social crop, a political crop like cotton. Sustainable fashion is the flavor right now, and organic cotton is here to stay. The journey has just begun for India in organic and certified sustainable cotton. So Cotton Guru invites all of you in this wonderful journey from fashion to farm. Farm to fashion is already documented, but it's not going to be so experiential as fashion to farm. Can we bring the fashion to the farm? Can we bring the corporates to the farmers? Like Dr. Goel said, and everybody of you has shared, if that is done, that experience of looking at the farmers, working with the farmers, just seeing what they do is going to make a lot of difference in the approach that the corporates have right now. And also, I invite the service industry, the certifying bodies like Gods and Control Union. Please, can you help us simplify and get it to the root supply chain, the farmers, the compliances, the governances in context of the Indian agroclimatic conditions. Can we make it a little bit more simpler and adaptable for them? I think the area is bound to grow. So thank you all again, and thank you listeners. Thank you event managers, Anand Events, and we wish this journey is not over, but it has just started.